Welcome to Next Watch Global. Recently, we had the Kerala local elections, the Panchayat and municipal elections. I think so. This is a very significant election because it happened just a few months before the state election that is due to be held in the early part of 2026. So we just decided to discuss about the outcome of this election, and I have Damit with me. So we are going to discuss what happened. Basically, before I start, I'll just give a brief idea as to what happened. In Kerala, there are two main alliances in politics. There's this UDF, or the United Democratic Front, and the LDF, the Left Democratic Front. The Left Democratic Front has been in power for almost the last decade, from 2016 onwards, and in the state level. But during this election, in most of the places, the Congress party-led UDF won the elections. However, there was a third force which is up and coming. That's the Bharatiya Janata Party. The BJP won the election in Thiruvananthapuram Municipal Corporation. Thiruvananthapuram is Trivandrum is the capital of Kerala. So this also is a very significant event, and actually most of the media focused mainly on this aspect, the victory of BJP during this election. So what really happened here? What made this change overall, and how do you see this change?
Yeah, thank you for the introduction, Chamra. This is the way I see it. I mean, it has been, for a significant period of India's history, India, even though the civilization, the concoction of civilizations that came together as India has been like thousands of years, hailing for a period of thousands of years, India itself is an entity that is quite recent, if you would put it in that perspective. Now, to draw it into a context, Kerala has been a stronghold, a stalwart stronghold of the leftist and left-leaning ideology. I wouldn't entirely describe it as purely communism, or communism in a Marxist sense, if you would like. But this has apparently been India's foothold for leftism. Because the 20th century has seen a surge, or basically a tidal wave of left or left-leaning ideologies, not only in this part of the world, but mainly focusing on Eastern and Southeastern Asia in most contexts, and also Latin American regions. Not to mention the Soviet Union or any bulwark that is that might have resulted from the establishment of the Soviet Union. But this wasn't much of a phenomenon in India. Indian politics was formulated based on democratic and secular principles, and they continue to be so. So even though the left vision or the red vision had quite a lot of playgrounds or sandboxes in many regions of the world, South Asia did not have much of a prospect to offer to these forces. Whereas that's why Kerala and Bengal is significant in Indian politics. But now we see that ever the more declining of the left-wing ideologies, we see that is in decay. So that's basically in decay in Kerala as well. From 2014 onwards, since the ascent into the throne of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to this point onwards, there has been a surge, a tidal wave of Indian nationalism in pure sense, or nationalism in economic or socio-political sense, if you could just extract it from that. This has been on the cards, right? This has been, it was only a matter of time. It was not a question of if, but it was a question of when, more or less. So the venting out of nationalist political ideology, which is the most favored and of course in our regional context, the default of the political ideologies of the common masses, which is very appealing to them. this was only a matter of time when I mean, basically, because it was not disrupted in between. And a few farmers' protests
Right.
against the government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This was not severely disturbed. Of course, we saw a setback in the parliamentary election this time, but
Yes.
I mean, that's basically that's people behaving, if you like. But it was coming to Kerala, right? Bengal already gone, right? The left-wing stronghold of Bengal collapsed because of national dynamics at play again.
Yeah.
And the effective and able organization shown by, I mean, incredible organization showed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And Kerala was the only remaining fortress, which is now beginning to show, I mean, it's now beginning to show fractures in the walls. So, Chamar, other than the weight of the nationalist ideology, is there anything else that, in your perspective, you would see that might have caused this entire thing?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Kerala, there's one important distinction that we have to make. Kerala is a southern state, so the nationalist ideology, especially, certain people view it as a Hindi-dominated kind of a thing. So it has been slow in penetrating the south. They've been trying to penetrate the south for a long time. They have been successful in Karnataka, but of course that has been helped by local political factors, especially in the early 90s. But in Kerala and in Tamil Nadu, in both those states, we have seen the BJP has been slow in penetrating. Now, last year in 2024, the BJP tried their hand in contesting alone with a few other smaller allied partners in Tamil Nadu, but they couldn't penetrate the bastion of Dravidianism there. The BJP didn't win any seats in the Lok Sabha election in 2024. But in Kerala, they won one seat in Thrissur. That was the first seat they won ever in Kerala. Suresh Gopi was the winner. But of course, that partly was might have been because he is a famous character anyway. But nevertheless, he had also tried a few times before he won the election in 2024. But nevertheless, in this case, the Thiruvananthapuram has been one place where the BJP has been focused in making inroads. In 2024 also, they tried to win the seat. The Lok Sabha seat is famously held by Dr. Shashi Tharoor from 2009 onwards. But in 2024, the BJP tried really hard to win the seat. They couldn't achieve that goal, but they came quite close. And the LDF or the left came third. But on the other hand, in Kerala, the left is still quite strong when it comes to organization. Unlike in West Bengal, they just collapsed. They just collapsed first because of the rise of Mamata Banerjee, Trinamool Congress, and then the BJP came into that space and managed to get most of the former left-wing supporters into their wing. So I think ultimately the right now in West Bengal the contest is between the Trinamool Congress and the BJP, and the other groups have just almost like become
Extinct.
yes, almost. The left is still there, minute. I mean, they can win around 6-7% of the votes, I think, but that's it. But in Kerala, it's still quite vibrant, I think, because of various reasons. One thing is they are organizationally still they are quite strong, but in that sense, I think this whole election where the Congress won most of the other places and BJP won Thiruvananthapuram is a stark reminder that things are changing in Kerala. Whether this will be a significant victory for the BJP, we have to see in the long run. I'm sure they are trying to make some, a significant gain during the 2026 state elections. But of course, the BJP, for the time being, doesn't have that organizational depth as the left or the Congress in Kerala. So they still have to go some distance, and they know that. I think they are pretty aware of it. So in that sense, I think this is a step towards something bigger. They will try to achieve more. Whether they will succeed in the near future has to be seen. The state election will be there in a few months. But I think they are, as for the BJP, they are playing the long game. And another important factor, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh is quite active in Kerala, and they are playing the long game. So they don't really, they don't plan according to election cycle. I think they plan, they have some other ideas about what they are doing. And I think they have been quite active in Kerala. So they have been active in, various cultural organizations, cultural, festivities and all that. So in that sense, they are making their presence felt. So ultimately, some of that will transform into votes. So that might be their game plan.
So, as you say that this is this is all going to be a deep-rooted game at play to sort of like convert Kerala from going left to going right,
Yeah.
if I could use the words. But do you see the recent happenings in Indian context, for example, from the Pahalgam attack, the cascading events which eventually led up to the Operation Sindoor, as it was described, and then the Delhi Fortress, Red Fortress bomb blasts. These recent events and the surge of nationalism that was in the shadows of these events, do you think they might have had some sort of like cry over the wall type of impact on Kerala being because Kerala cannot survive as a solitary state. It has to basically have at least some spillover flows from the national political dynamics. So do you think these might have a bit of a impact on this?
Not much, I think, because this is a local election, and even in state elections we see a lot of local issues that are coming up. Even in Bihar election, Bihar is a northern Indian state. Even then, I don't think we saw a lot of spillover effects from, say, for example, the Pahalgam attack. There were a lot of local issues at play. In Kerala also, I think there are lots of local issues at play. There are this controversy regarding the Sabarimala temple, and then there's there are some simmering differences coming up here and there. There are talks of love jihad, there are talks of various other this and that, and so basically I think it's the issues that are more local. Even in Bihar we didn't see a lot of stuff about the national politics, except for things that were directly important for them. So in that sense, I think in local elections it's different. I think in India, in most of the states, I think when it comes to elections, in Lok Sabha elections, we see people thinking more on a national level because they are electing their prime minister at the end. So in that sense, for example, the Modi effect and those things matter more right now in the present context. But in local elections, even in state elections, I think much more important are the local factors, except if it's a very important, very drastic change or some significant event that has taken place. So I don't think that made much of a difference, or that makes much of a difference in local politics in general.
But do you see the in context of the leftist political parties that you just mentioned in the state of Kerala, Do you see them in a bit of a frenzy or a panic saying that BJP is coming or something like that? Or are they sticking to the gameplay that they have been quite used to up to now?
I don't think they'll be in panic mode because of the BJP right now. Because I think for the BJP, I think there's lot. I mean, there's lot to be done. But nevertheless, they will be the left government would be very concerned about this result, especially because their local organization is quite strong, and so their defeat. I think they are aware that they have a chance of losing power in the next state election. So they will be concerned about that because, as you rightly mentioned, the left has power in India only in Kerala. So in that sense, I think it's very important for them, the last bastion of leftism in India. So they will be quite interested in preserving that as much as possible. So in that sense, I think they will be worried, but not because of the BJP right now. I think it's more the Congress-led alliance that is more threatening, and they might be able to win power next, in a couple of months.
So I would like to remind to our viewers that this is basically a pilot project of basically our first shot at having an English podcast aired. So I mean, us being on the other side of the Pork Strait, our reading on Kerala's politics would at some times be rather superficial than going in depth. So you have the warrant to rectify us if you feel that something is off. Having said that, I would like to move on to the Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you see the attention of the Gen Z focusing off the left wing to leaning more towards BJP? What is their attitude? What is their take on this entire process? If it can be measured or read, I mean.
I'm not sure if we can see that in a broad sense, because when it comes to the urban youth, there is some regions, in some areas, there is some some enthusiasm for the BJP and their message. And so in certain parts of the country, yes, they have kind of a positive feedback among certain parts of the communities. But I don't think we can come to conclusions on a general sense. I think still there are the left also has some presence in these youth groups, so especially in places like Kerala, and also the Congress and the other parties that are aligned with the Congress. So I don't think you can see a general overview as to what the Gen Z would think. But in certain parts of the country, I think the youth is quite, there is a certain segment of the youth which are quite enthusiastic about the changes that are happening. On the other hand, there are certain youth, among the youth, there are certain people who are concerned about the situation in the economy, the unemployment situation and all that. So, whether we can take a general overview is something that I'm not really sure of. I don't think we can get into that level. Yeah.
Understood. Now, in context of delivering what you promise, left wing normally finds itself at crisis, because normally their vision or their partake of the world and what they promise to deliver, mostly when they actually get power, there are certain types of lapses, serious and severe lapses that are contrastworthy. Now, in this context, for their past performance, at least in the recent past, how do you see the socio-economic performance of these left-leaning administrations of the Kerala state itself. Do you see a reason to be disappointed? Do you see a reason to shift away from them? Do you see a reason of maybe an alarm would be raised in the future? What is your take on this?
I think historically the left has been quite successful in addressing the historical grievances that most of the Kerala people had. For example, Kerala was a poor state, poverty and the land issues and all that. They were quite big problems, say 50-60 years ago, when for example when the first communist government came into power in 1957. But afterwards things have dramatically changed in Kerala. Kerala has become one of the, I think, one of the success stories in India. And so in that sense, historically the left has done quite well, their corporate system and all sorts of stuff. During the last 10 years, I think they with the challenges that came, COVID epidemic, the COVID-19 crisis and all these other issues, I think they have done reasonably well. But still 10 years of power, anti-incumbency sets in, and so I think right now, even though they have done reasonably well, I think people have bigger aspirations, so they might they might change their track. So anti-incumbency plays a big role here, I think, against the left-wing government, because in Kerala in the last 30-40 years, usually what has happened is you have alternating governments, Congress and then left, then Congress, then left. That has been the pattern. But in 2021, the Kerala government, the left government, returned to power, which had not happened for the last, I think, 3 decades or so. So that was a very significant achievement for them. So they've done reasonably well, but I think now anti-incumbency is setting in. Well, we still have some months to go, so we really don't know. And the Congress party also has this habit of losing stuff that are just around the corner. So you never know what the Congress party are able to do in that sense. But in that sense, I think they've done okay, but not like, really excellently. So yeah.
Right. So my next question is now, in consideration with all other states in India, what speciality do you see with Kerala, so much so that they would be the ones to stick to the left-leaning politics? Like, why was it so difficult for nationalist ideologies to penetrate them, whereas they have done? I mean, I'm not saying these are success stories, but they have done marvels in context of election results, at least so to speak, in many other states. But what's so special in Kerala that they would cling onto leftist ideologies and leftist politics, and these ideologies had a really nourished ground to basically root themselves within Kerala?
I think one major reason was, say, historically, if we think about it, Kerala had a lot of land and poverty issues some years back. But in education they were quite advanced compared to other states in India. Now even in the 1950s, 60s, that was the case. And the other thing is the communities. There are 3 main communities. Hindus are the majority, but then there are Christians and also there are Muslims, and they live side by side, and the population density is also quite high, and it's an urbanized society comparatively, almost 50% urban. So I think 47% or something. So, but nevertheless, it's tightly knit community comparatively, and three major communities are there. So with these factors, this polarizing ideologies are relatively hard to establish there. That's one thing. And also the level of education and the level of critical thinking that the Kerala people have, they usually they have this much more than in some other places, I would presume. So the nature of the society. So the nature of the society is such that it's more receptive to. It has been more receptive to left-leaning ideas. So that has been the case. But the right wing has understood this. I think they have understood this, so they know that they have to approach it in a more subtle manner, and they are currently kind of trying to make the inroads slowly but steadily. So we have to see what happens in the next 10 to 15 years.
Before we come to a conclusion on this particular segment, I've already mentioned that this is a pilot project, and basically a pilot episode rather, and we are planning to check on our feasibility of carrying this forward. So before coming to a conclusion with Charmer, I would like to raise this queer factor right now. It is with utmost curiosity that I would be looking into this problem. We see different political dynamics emerging in the state of Tamil Nadu and then in Kerala, right? Other than the instance where what you just mentioned related to Trinamool and the West Bengal, do you see in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's tenure as the premier, him being able to at least significantly penetrate the states of Kerala? We are not going to basically bet anything off the charts here, right? But we would like to basically consider the most possible events in the near event horizon. So do you see within this tenure of him significantly or sizably or decisively penetrating these two states? Because they are all going to face the same spree of elections next year, and it's going to be very interesting to see.
As of now, I don't think there will be a huge or a drastic, seismic change to that side.
It's too early to say that the bastions have fallen.
No, I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can come to the conclusion. But in Kerala, they might win a few assembly seats. So in as of now, but you have to see. But as of now, in Tamil Nadu also, they are right now the junior partner to the AIADMK. So I think they might be able to win a couple of seats if things change. But right now, as it stands, it seems the current government has the advantage in Tamil Nadu. The DMK-led alliance has the advantage in Tamil Nadu. So because of that, still I don't think there will be a huge seismic change during this election cycle. So no, right now no. But of course they are in the ascending, especially in Kerala. I think they've made some inroads and they might develop it further. In Tamil Nadu, of course, I think they tried in 2024 and right now they've taken a step back. So they might be biding their time. So for the time being, they are content to, play the junior alliance role in this big alliance with the AIADMK. So yeah, they are just playing the long game, I think. Yeah.
Right. So just to end the entire program, would it be fair to say that the people are more or less comprehensively influenced by the nationalist ideology of Narendra Modi, and would it also be fair to say that there has been no major significant contribution towards the voters shifting more towards him because of his economic policies?
I think, when it comes to nationalism, I think as India and India's leader and India's global presence and India's nationalist, India's national image, in that sense, I think he has created a lot of buzz, and I think that is common in any part of the country. But when it comes to the other factors, even in economics and in other factors as well, I think local factors make a lot of difference. So, and since we are talking about the South always has this, kind of a different attitude towards the BJP, say it's more of a northern party. So in that sense, it's really hard to penetrate the hearts and minds of the South for a party from the North, so to speak. So in that sense, I think it's not very easy to, convert these things. Yeah, and to convert these things into votes. And, the ideologies are also different. And the ideologies sometimes clash, the Dravidian ideology and the BJP ideology, there are lots of clashes there as well. So in that sense, I think it's not easy to penetrate the South. But as for the national image, I think Prime Minister Modi has scored several points, and so it's a different matter, I think. Yeah.
Well, there we have it. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, India is aspiring to be a global superpower.
Yes.
And this scale of dominancy that they are seeking is not reserved to this particular area. And us being in Sri Lanka, being their closest neighbor rather, we have a duty to decipher what's going on in Indian politics and then make it more closer and absorbable to the viewers that we have, viewer base that we have here. And if you're from India, by all means you are welcome to correct us, add to us, or basically rectify if our path is not really, in your perspective, our path is not the most realistic version of it when it comes to deciphering or describing, elaborating the outcome of these elections. So having said that, we desire to move forward with the scheme of having an English, basically an English curriculum or English presentation that is on par with the Sinhala versions that we are already conducting. So Chamar, thank you very much for your insights and the enlightenment that you carried forward today. We will be doing this more often in the future.
Okay, then let's say goodbye for now, and we'll meet another day.